Let's go ahead and get started. This is the presentation on how to stop unfair bad faith offers. And let me define what that is real quick when we're talking about unfair bad faith offers. And this is specifically for the low impact soft tissue spinal injury. But when we say unfair bad faith offers, what we're talking about are injury victims, people who are typically car accident injury patients, who are injured to no fault of their own. And then the third-party insurance carriers don't want to pay 100% of their medicals. They try to get out of paying 100% of the medicals. They try to get out of paying pain and suffering or minimize that significantly. And they definitely try to get out of permanent injuries, paying the need for future care. And so that's our definition of unfair bad faith offers. And so we're going to go into exactly how to stop that. And I'm Dr. Paul. And I've been teaching this for 25, 30 years now. And it all started with a case that I had. Then what I found out is the vast majority of cases that are getting lowball offers do not need, or they should not be getting lowball offers, to be honest with you. And I'll give you the example that started it all. I was talking with an attorney early in my career, and he didn't know what to do with the typical soft tissue spinal injury. Now this patient did not have a disc injury, a nerve injury, a mild concussion, but they had a soft tissue spinal injury. So he didn't know what to do with it. And the insurance company was not offering any reimbursement at all. And one of the reasons they weren't is because the patient went to a medical doctor initially, and they said there was nothing wrong. And then she continued to have trouble. And then 2-3 months later, she continued to have trouble, so she went again, and they told her there was nothing wrong. So there was an emergency room doctor that said there was nothing wrong and gave her pain pills and muscle relaxers. And then a few months later, her general practitioner gave her pain pills, mental relaxers, and said nothing was wrong. Well, he sent that. I explained what you're about to see in this presentation is exactly why they were offering nothing, and how we turned that case, that soft tissue injury case, from zero to a $110,000 policy limit award. And that was without a disc, nerve injury, mild concussion, or fracture. And what I've come to learn when I started doing this work is that was more often than not. More often than not, there was a large segment of patients and attorneys who were getting lowballed offered that didn't need to. And we found out that the main reason was there was bad documentation. And I'm going to go over with you multiple categories. So typically it's not one individual category. One category of documentation can definitely be way more significant than another. But we usually found it's how they all confluence, how they all come together. And it doesn't need to be that way. As a matter of fact, we just did another case a few weeks ago. It was a soft tissue injury. The patient was T-boned, had ligament injuries in the neck, no disc injury, no nerve injury. And the initial offer in that particular case was $46,000. And again, they didn't want to pay for 100% of the medical. They only wanted to pay for, it was about $6,000 in pain and suffering. And they didn't want to pay anything for the need for future care. Well, after we did our what's called high sensitivity, high relevancy documentation and showed them the narrative report with all that information that puts it all together, they changed their tune and they settled for $165,000. That was without going to court. That was just with high sensitivity, high relevancy documentation, and then put together in a sequential 12-step formula. And that's exactly what we're going to cover tonight. I'm going to go over every category of exactly how that happens. I'm going to cover each category that typically is not documented properly by the doctors, that limits and hurts the injury award. That's what we're going to cover right now. So again, I'm Dr. Paul. I've opened 77 offices in 20 states. I'm a past speaker in 3 chiropractic colleges. I've authored 10 books mainly on chiropractic and business-related topics. And I'm one of the largest donors in the history of chiropractic. So let's go into how all this comes together. So we have what's called a car injury doctor network. And we actually train doctors and we train attorneys. We train the doctors in what's called high sensitivity, high relevancy documentation. And you're going to see what that means as we walk through this. And you're going to see that makes all the difference in whether you're stuck with a lowball offer or you get at least a high value offer. It makes that much of a difference. And you're about to see why right now.